The night I left home was unusually quiet. Rain tapped gently against my bedroom window as I packed only what I could carry: clothes, some savings, and a few precious keepsakes. No dramatic exit, no slamming doors, no tearful goodbyes. Just me, disappearing into the night like I was never meant to be there in the first place. It had happened 3 days earlier. I'd come home early from my shift at the cafe, exhausted but excited about my acceptance letter to the graphic design program I'd been dreaming about. My parents didn't know I'd applied. They'd made it clear that art school was a waste of time and money. Practical careers only, my father would say whenever I showed him my work. I was going to tell them that night, had rehearsed a whole speech about scholarships and career prospects. But as I approached our living room, I heard my name. I froze in the hallway, just out of sight. Mia has always had her head in the clouds, my father was saying to someone on the phone. She'll never be successful in life with these ridiculous art dreams. We've tried everything, but the girl just doesn't understand reality. I know. My mother chimed in from somewhere nearby. She takes after my sister, talented but completely impractical. At least Emily found a rich husband. Mia doesn't even have that going for her. I stood there, clutching my acceptance letter, feeling something break inside me. Not just my heart, but something fundamental, the thread that had kept me tethered to them despite years of dismissals and backhanded compliments. That night, I made my decision. 3 days later, I was gone. I left a note. I heard what you said. I'm going to prove you wrong. Nothing more. No forwarding address, no contact information. I had exactly $3,427 saved up from working double shifts, a friend's couch to crash on in the city, and the acceptance letter with a partial scholarship. It wasn't much, but it was mine. My life, my choice. The first few months were brutal. I worked 2 jobs while studying full-time. My apartment was a converted storage space above a noisy restaurant. I ate ramen more often than not, and sometimes cried myself to sleep from exhaustion. But slowly, things improved. I excelled in my classes. A professor recommended me for an internship at a small design agency. The internship turned into a part-time job, then a full-time position after I graduated. I made friends who believed in me. I dated a bit, though carefully. I was wary of anyone who might try to clip my wings the way my parents had. I built a life that was entirely my own, piece by painstaking piece. A year passed, then another 6 months. I moved into a real apartment with a real bedroom. I had business cards with my name and graphic designer printed beneath it. I started freelancing on the side, building my portfolio and my reputation. And then, on a rainy Sunday afternoon not unlike the night I'd left, my phone rang with a number I hadn't seen in 18 months. I stared at my phone as if it were a venomous snake. My mother's name flashed on the screen, a ghost from my past life. For a moment, I considered ignoring it, letting it ring until voicemail took over. But curiosity and something else, something I wasn't ready to name, made me answer. Hello. My voice was steady, more confident than I remembered it being around them. Mia. My mother's voice cracked. Oh God, Mia, you answered. Silence stretched between us, 18 months of distance packed into that pause. Are you okay? I finally asked, because it seemed like the simplest question. No, she admitted. We're not okay. Your father and I, we miss you terribly. I closed my eyes, leaning against my kitchen counter. Outside my window, the city hummed with Sunday afternoon activity. In my new life. How did you get this number? I asked. Your friend Jenna. We've been looking for you for a while. Most of your friends wouldn't tell us anything, but Jenna finally took pity on us last week. I made a mental note to talk to Jenna later. Not angrily. I wasn't angry anymore, just to understand why she'd made that choice. What do you want, Mom? The words came out more sharply than I intended. To see you. To talk. Your father and I, we've done a lot of thinking since you left. She paused. A lot of growing up, I suppose. I almost laughed at the irony. I've done some growing up too. We know. We've been following your work online. Your portfolio is beautiful, Mia. We had no idea you were so talented. Now I was confused. You've been looking at my work? For months now. Your father checks your website every week to see if you've posted anything new. He prints out your designs and puts them in a folder. He's proud of you, Mia. We both are. The words I'd wanted to hear for so long now felt hollow, like they'd arrived too late. But something in her voice, desperation, regret, love, kept me from hanging up. We're in the city, she continued when I didn't respond. Just for the weekend. We were hoping, maybe we could see you? Have coffee somewhere public if that makes you more comfortable. Just 30 minutes. Please. I closed my eyes, transported back to that night in the hallway, hearing them dismember my dreams so casually. The pain was still there, but duller now, overshadowed by my successes. Why should I? I asked quietly. Give me one reason that isn't about how you feel. My mother was quiet for so long I thought she might have hung up. Then, because we were wrong. Because you deserve to hear that from us directly. Because we've spent 18 months living with the knowledge that we damaged our relationship with our only daughter out of fear and ignorance. I looked around my apartment, at the framed design award on my wall, the healthy plants I'd nurtured, the photographs of new friends who'd supported me when my own family wouldn't. The coffee shop on Westlake and 7th, I said finally. Tomorrow at noon. 30 minutes. We'll be there, she said, her voice teary with relief. Thank you, Mia. After hanging up, I sat on my couch, staring at nothing. Tomorrow, I would face my past. Tonight, I would prepare myself for whatever came next. I arrived 15 minutes early, choosing a table in the back corner with a clear view of the door. The coffee shop was busy enough to provide background noise, but not so crowded that we couldn't talk. I ordered a latte and waited, my portfolio tucked beside me, not because I needed to prove anything, but because it was my armor. When they walked in, I almost didn't recognize them. My father's hair had grayed considerably, and my mother looked smaller somehow, less imposing than in my memories. They scanned the room anxiously until their eyes landed on me. My mother's hand flew to her mouth. My father's posture straightened as if bracing himself. I didn't stand as they approached. Some petty part of me enjoyed the awkwardness as they hovered by my table, uncertain of the protocol for meeting the daughter they'd driven away. Mia, my father said, his voice rough. Thank you for meeting us. I gestured to the chairs across from me. Sit down. Your 30 minutes starts now. They exchanged a look before settling into their seats. My mother couldn't stop staring at me, cataloging the changes, my new haircut, the confidence in my posture, the professional clothes I now wore. You look wonderful, she said finally. So grown up. That's what happens, I replied, taking a sip of my latte. Life goes on. My father cleared his throat. We owe you an apology. Many apologies. He placed his hands flat on the table, a gesture I remembered from childhood discussions. What you overheard that night. It was wrong of us to say those things. More wrong than we even realized at the time. We were speaking from fear, my mother added. We were afraid for you, for your future. We thought we were protecting you by pushing you towards something safe. You weren't protecting me, I said quietly. You were controlling me. There's a difference. My father nodded, accepting the rebuke. You're right. We confused our own fears with wisdom, and we've paid for that mistake every day since you left. When you disappeared, my mother continued, it forced us to look at ourselves, really look, at how we treated you, at the dreams we dismissed. It shouldn't have taken me leaving for you to see me, I said. No, my father agreed, his eyes damp. It shouldn't have. That's on us, completely. He reached into his jacket and pulled out a folded paper. This was in the local paper last month. We've been following your career. It was a small write-up about a branding campaign I'd led for a women's shelter. Nothing major, but I was proud of it. We've seen your website too, my mother said. Your work is beautiful, Mia. Meaningful. You were right to follow your passion. I took a deep breath. I didn't come here for validation. I don't need it anymore. Not from you. Not from anyone. I know my worth now. We understand, my father said. We're not asking to pick up where we left off. We know too much has happened. But maybe we could start something new? Get to know each other as adults? No expectations, just a chance. I looked at them. Really looked. Their regret seemed genuine. The superiority I remembered was gone, replaced by humility that must have cost them dearly. I can't promise anything, I said finally. But I'm willing to try coffee again. Maybe in a few weeks. The relief on their faces was palpable. As we stood to leave, my mother hesitated, then asked, May I hug you? It's okay if not. I nodded, allowing a brief embrace. It felt strange, familiar yet different. I'm proud of who you've become, she whispered. Not because of your success, but because of your strength. Walking away, I realized the weight I'd been carrying had lightened. Not gone, perhaps it never would be entirely, but transformed into something I could carry without being crushed. Sometimes the greatest success isn't proving others wrong. It's discovering who you are when no one else's opinions matter anymore.